Hello, beloveds, and welcome to another episode of the Ascension Cafe. This episode is all about frequency over fantasy and why the Akashic Records could actually be subconscious projection. I want to just begin this conversation by absolutely categorically saying out loud that the purpose and intention of this is purely to illuminate what Spirit have shown me. This has not come around quickly. This is something that I have been shown over at least 2 years, if not longer. And I have also experienced myself. So I'm talking about my own experience as a light worker and my experience of doing Akashic readings. I think it's very important as well to state that those souls who do Akashic readings, you are doing work from the heart. I know you are. And you may listen to this vlog or podcast, and you may feel very triggered by what I say, but please know this intention is purely about illuminating what I have been shown, what Spirit have put right under my nose, and not just my nose, but many other light workers too. And it is a part of my soul mission. You know, I have come to understand that I am here as a myth buster and to share sacred truth. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So the Akashic Records, we are told and taught that the Akashic Records is almost like a cosmic library. It is a library of everything that has ever happened, soul plans, soul contracts, agreements, thoughts, feelings, emotions, occurrences, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, not just of our own, but each and every planet has its own Akashic record as well. So the Akashics are huge. It's a data bank of information. And that, on the whole, is absolutely correct. But there is a fundamental aspect of the Akashic Records that we light workers have missed. It's been missed out of teachings, and it is also very much, there is an ego, a huge ego-led aspect to this. And this is where it's difficult to talk about, because some people, this will ruffle the feathers, but this is what Spirit have shown me. And I want to dive straight into my own experience of the Akashics, because I am absolutely and utterly not sharing this in any way, shape or form to disrespect any light workers who do Akashic readings. I myself has done training to deliver Akashic readings. It is something I never offered. And I'll explain that. When I was doing the course of the Akashic readings, I could receive information for myself, for others. It was actually quite fluid, the information that came through, and I truly believed it to be very accurate. At this point on my journey, I had done quite a bit of inner work. I wasn't new to Ascension. I wasn't newly awakened. I'd already been teaching, holding sacred spaces for groups and on a one-to-one basis. And I'd been doing other forms of reading for many years. But something when I was doing the Akashic record training was really niggling me. It just seemed too easy. The information I was getting, as I said, was coming through thick and fast. But it just something was niggling me. Something didn't feel right. It felt too easy. I thought, if this is really such significant and important information, highly esoteric information, some of it, how could I access that so easily? It didn't make sense, because I thought, if I could, then so could many other souls. And some of those souls may not have the the pure intention of wanting to help others to heal, to overcome karmic loops or past life wounds, patterns, or even help them to go through that massive process of soul remembrance, uncovering gifts, aspects of their souls and retrieving them from past lifetimes. It just seemed too easy. And I thought, if it's that easy, then it's open to be misused. Spirit started to show me different things. I was asking my team, why do I have a resistance to offering Akashic readings? And I truly believed for a while when I was doing my soul readings that I was actually accessing people's Akashics, but now I've come to understand that in my soul readings and my soul sessions, I was actually accessing information in an individual person's blueprint, in their energy field, because each and every one of our auric fields holds information too. And working with the teams in spirit, I was also garnering information that maybe for whatever reason they couldn't access themselves at that time. So the spirit teams would give me information. But for a spell, I did truly believe I was accessing another person's Akashic records. My uncomfortableness about this, uncomfortability, is it? I basically said to my team, help me to understand why am I resistant to this and some other modalities and some other beings of light. Please start to illuminate for me. And they did in many different ways. I could be watching a reel of another light worker, practitioner, space holder. I could be reading something. I could be doing research. I could be having a conversation with another light worker. Spirit started to show me everywhere I turned all of these questions that my soul was so thirsty to try and understand. And today I'm going to talk about Akashic Records because this is the first thing that Spirit have guided me to share. And I had a conversation with a beautiful, beautiful friend of mine who works very similarly to me. Not have very similar gifts, purposes. We had a really good conversation about the Akashic Records a couple of weeks ago. So I knew this was Spirit saying, come on, it's time, Carrie. I want to talk back a little bit about where I started. So why do I think I have the right to be here sharing this now? It is a part of my soul mission. And I've had to go through a huge process of healing people pleasing because I can't do the work I'm here to do if I try to keep everybody happy. Some of the conversations we will have in the Ascension Cafe will trigger people and will ruffle feathers, but that's not the intention. As I said earlier, the intention is to support others and to open their eyes to what Spirit are wanting us to see. And it has took a lot of inner work for me to get where I am today, for Spirit to trust me with this work. And I'm not special. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm something special. There are many others that are being called to share this message too at this time. And there is a significant reason for that. Back in 2022, there was a huge, massive infiltration to the field. And by the field, I am talking the universal field, off planet and on planet. There was distortion sent into the grids on planet Earth, hence why a lot of us have been called to do grid work at this time. But that's gone on for so much more, many long eons of time, not just in 2022, but also distortions to fields of memory, such as the halls of Amenti, the Akasha, etc., and even individuals as well. And this is where I really want to share some complete honesty with you. Back around about that time, 2022, I'd had a beautiful reading from Andrew Hobbs, who is divine channel for Lord Melchizedek, the Solar Logos. And he told me very clearly about this kind of work I would do, and that I'm an ancient scribe, an earthly interpreter. And this isn't the first time I've been given this information from him. It was a loving reminder. But he also told me that he would come and visit me and he would share some very important information about my soul that I need to understand. Maybe a month or two after that reading, I was in meditation and I felt Lord Melchizedek come through, and his energy is such a high frequency, you cannot miss it. It can actually make you feel really quite lightheaded because his frequency is so much higher than ours, and he comes right down to meet us. His energy comes through as the most beautiful pure gold. It is radiant and sparkly if you have the gift of clairvoyance. And he showed me the Excalibur. Everything went dark all of a sudden. The golden light came back in almost within seconds. And I had a very clear message that I was the pure of heart, Sir Galahad. I sat there for what felt like hours thinking, no, that can't be true. That really can't be true. It can't be right. This feels like ego. It doesn't feel right. It must be mad. I reached out to a very close friend of mine, Trish. We had a conversation and she said, well, maybe it's more like a soul connection rather than you are that. And I said, yeah, maybe. But for some time, the more and more I thought about this, the more I believed it to be true. I now know after doing so much inner work, deep, grueling, going deep into the darkest depths of my soul and facing my demons absolutely head on, that I wasn't Sir Galahad. But I do have a very strong connection to him on a monadic level, and to King Arthur, and especially to Lord Merlin. And I was given the gift of the Excalibur by Lord Melchizedek, but not because I pulled it out of the stone. God, it sounds crazy now when I say it. I must have been so in my ego. Not because I pulled it out of the stone, because it is a gift to help to cut cords and to clear dark Luciferian energy, which is part of my work. I do this kind of clearing work. I don't talk about it a lot because it is something that you do behind the scenes. That all made sense. And I was like, yeah, that's more to the case. I had a reading not that long after this understanding, having this revelation, and realizing that this was absolutely not the case. It was not the truth. I had another reading of Andrew Hobbs, and Lord Melchizedek came straight through and told me that my third eye had been interfered with, and he had cleaned the slate for me. So how beautiful is that? How wonderful is that? Since 2022, when all of that happened, I have been in a very deep container, especially the last 2 years since 2024, of inner work. Really, really doing that work of not defeating the ego, but mastering the ego in the sense of recognizing when I am operating from ego and when I am operating from my heart center. And hands up, as a light worker, I can look back and know when I've created something and I've been operating from ego, and when I have created something, and I have been operating from the heart. And this is why I now can recognize that in others, because I've done that work on myself. So Spirit have prepared me now to be able to see false light very clearly in others, not from a place of judgment, from a place of love and compassion, so that they have readied me to share this information that I'm sharing with you today, and I will be sharing with you in the coming episodes of the Ascension Cafe. So, as I said, these deceptions, these distortions in the memory fields, not just individually like my own experience, but in the Acacia, in the halls of Amenti, etc. Back in 2022, around about the time of the solstice, the High Councils, including Lord Melchizedek, the Syrian High Council, the Emerald Order, and the Blue Ray Essenes, who are incarnated on Earth right now, all had a mission to clear the distortion in the memory fields. This is still ongoing. These distortions, without getting too heavy, but I'm speaking honest, raw truth, these distortions were created by the Luciferian rebellion and the Draconians with the absolute intent of disrupting planetary ascension. Some of this information I was aware of myself on a soul level, and some of it I am absolutely 100% crediting to Lisa Rennie, who is a divine channel. And her mission is very much about bringing awareness to light workers, those souls who know they are here on Earth to support planetary ascension through teaching, through holding sacred space, through being a facilitator, healer, whatever, a reader of any kind, with the absolute intention to support the awakening process and souls to heal and to spiritually ascend. Her mission is to enlighten each and every one of us. It's heavy stuff. So I'm sharing the light touch. So this rebellion, Luciferian and Draconian, had implanted this very highly advanced technology into the memory fields to distort it. The High Councils have been working tirelessly since 2022 to correct that, to remove it and to correct the memory fields. And they are still doing an itinerary of inorganic information and what is organic. The inorganic reversals are being corrected. So, why is this important? This is very important because those souls who have been doing Akashic readings over this period of time, very likely, and I'm not saying this 100%, I can't say that, but potentially have been reading distorted information. Going back to the importance of us as light workers before we put ourselves out there, doing the inner work ourselves, the grueling inner work ourselves, facing our own demons, doing the work on the egoic mind, mastering the mind, so that you know when you are channeling what you think you're channeling, because it's coming through here, through the heart center. Your mind can't distort it. Your mind can't project your own unhealed trauma onto another person when you're doing a reading. And the most important thing out of all of this is not just the importance as a space holder facilitator to do your own inner work so that you know you're operating from the right place, so you know you're connecting with the right beings, the true beings of light, and not false light or distorted information. It isn't all of that, even though that is extremely important. The most important thing that my guides have absolutely implored that I share with you today is that any memory field, such as the Akashic Records, the Acacia, the hold of a mentee, they are of such a high frequency that if we have not done the inner work and raised our own vibration, we cannot access them. Not the true Acacia. We cannot. We are not of a high enough vibration. Why is this important? Because it is about discernment. And I bang on about this all the time. I've already spoken about this in numerous episodes of the Ascension Cafe. Our discernment is absolutely critical to our ascension. At this time, sorry, I'm wheezing a bit. At this time, as we are under attack, whether you want to, if you're in the woo-woo, fluffy love and light camp, you won't like me saying this, and I'm sorry, but we are under attack constantly. We are just blessed with these higher beings of light, these cosmic and galactic beings of light that are protecting us constantly and correcting any reversals or distorted energies in the field. We are blessed with that. That is amazing. It is absolutely beautiful. But your discernment is your key tool right now at this point of ascension on Mother Earth. And I really invite you to, whenever you want to book anything, to join any course, to book any healing session, you really feel into that facilitator's energy. Look deep into their eyes, the windows of the soul. You can see it. Trust me, you can see false light in somebody's eyes. They cannot hide it. Your eyes are the windows to the soul. So I implore you, as my guides have implored me to share this message, I implore you to lean into your discernment. There are amazing, many thousands, even millions of beautiful, heart-centered practitioners out there. But use your discernment so that you know you are connecting with them, the ones that are bringing through the true light, the ones that have faced their demons head on, the ones that have done the work to master the ego mind. And none of us are there yet. Not one of us are there yet. But if they are responsible teacher, practitioner, reader, space holder, facilitator, they will continue to do that work every single day of their life. Because if it is their true soul mission, nothing will be more important to them than to know that as they hold space for somebody else, they are absolutely bringing through pure, sacred light and information. And very importantly, the people they're holding safe, sacred space for are absolutely protected. So, beloveds, this is frequency over fantasy. It is about each and every one of us doing the work we need to do to help others. And as Lord Melchizedek has said to me so many times, the absolute most important information I have ever received, again via Andrew Hobbs and Lord Melchizedek, feel it, beloved. Don't think it, feel it. And I will leave it there with you today. Take what resonates, Leave behind what doesn't. I love you all. Have a beautiful and blessed week ahead. And may you walk through your week with clarity, love, and compassion. Until next time, beloveds, it's Carrie X in the Ascension Cafe. And I'll see you very soon.